Clowy says, Europeans are not tuning into amateur? What? Is this right? Amateur?
Amateur.
Oh, like this dude's spelling. Got it. Yeah, see? Now I'm not reading your diss on the LCS, scrub. Hi everyone, welcome to dGon versus commenters for Facecheck episode 15, season 3 of course. And now, full disclosure, we taped this before MSI started. There's a lot of predictions here, so don't flame me if we get it wrong or get it right, whatever. I'm just reading what you all wrote. Let's get into it. Candy Kid Jack 3 says, Dom starts the podcast already needing copium. Actually, all of us needed copium because all of our internets died right beforehand. I know Dom's like, my internet didn't die. He had connection issues, okay? And then my internet legit was down. And LS actually was crazy in a good mood. You all saw it if you weren't in the chat, all the lulls that were being spammed in the chat. That's why we started off the video with that, and maybe a little bit of copium, but I'm not gonna lie, I needed it too. It took a little bit to get us into it, but I think this was one of my favorite episodes. Jonathan Choi says, I watched this live only to hop onto YouTube to watch dGon put a shoe on his head again. Yeah, hey, you know what? Y'all always say, oh, pre-recorded content, meow, meow, meow. It's just how we have to connect to each other and get the video up and get it on the stream. So next time, if you guys have ideas of what I should do live to prove that it's live, put in the comments. I'll think about doing the best one. Based God says, I'm waiting for the day Dom says something positive about NA. All right, let's go to the next question. Ryan L writes, who do you think will be MVP of MSI or players of interest to watch? I like this one because I think there are just so many storylines. Remember, each time we have a global event, the team coming is the best team of that region. They had to come up through amateur, they had to go through challenger, they had to work their way on up. Rarely are players just anointed, hey, you're the best. Other than like Faker, you know, and maybe like Showmaker. But other than those two guys, everyone's always had to have a path on up. I think for me, I want to watch Elyoya over for Mad Lions. He is the catalyst. He's the closest thing to, hey, here's this rookie the split coming on in and being a mercurial star. But he did toil in the regional league for a while. He transformed this Mad Lions roster. It'll be exciting to see what he does. I think the third player, and the one that we should look out for the most in runnings for the MVP award, is Cryan in the mid lane. It's the same kind of move that Detonation Focus Me did with Arya, except they didn't bench their former mid laner, who's now moved to the top side of the map. But whenever you make a move for a guy that's been there for 5 to 6 years and been the cornerstone of your organization for a new guy, you got to keep an eye on it, and that's Cryan in the mid lane. I think he has the potential to lead RNG to an MSI victory. And finally, here's a extra bonus points one. It's Pabu over the jungler for Pentanet, mainly because Pabu hasn't had that international experience with the team. But when he was by himself, he dumpstered some of the world's greats. Can't wait to see what this young man does. StraightGod.com says, I'm telling you, Perks is making them not show strats. C9 is gonna be fine, watch. And Kyle Schultz keeps it short and sweet saying, C9 win. All right, like we said at the top of the show, this is being recorded on Wednesday. If you want our immediate reactions to what happened, we got it locked and loaded here over at the VENN Esports channel. Make sure to like and subscribe. So I'm gonna make my predictions right now, and I'm pretty good at them. So again, prediction, Wednesday, because, you know, I'm right. Here we go. Damwon Gaming are the reigning champs from the best region in the world. As much as I love Cloud9, they're gonna stumble and fumble and lose their very first match. And of course, because his prediction was so right, we have all of the post-game content. Make sure to stay locked in throughout MSI. Halo Jung says, Riot should make advertisements to attract new players in NA. Something similar to Uncle Sam would help raise the player base. So for a while, Riot was getting new players in. They just weren't translating to esports, if that makes sense. There's a lot of people that play soccer. Not everyone follows, you know, the MLS. It's the same kind of thing that they were doing. They had recruited like cartoonists, they got influencers, they had a whole bunch of different methods, and I remember seeing it all on YouTube. It was different creators coming on in being like, hey, look, there's League of Legends, I love it, blah, 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 you should play, here's how you play, this is basically what it is. And so I think there's it's not just an NA issue, because the game's complicated as well. It's more of, and I think this has to do with the content part that we talked about. Hey, NA's content is lacking. That isn't new players trying to come on in. That is getting current players to care about it. That was the whole point, and that was what we were hitting on. Damian Estrada of Team Liquid, now of 100 Thieves, is the best storyteller that we've got in the space. Everything looks really good, and the way that he asks questions, the way that he lines up people to answer them, led to compelling content that Team Liquid has done. But who's been able to innovate that way since then in the league space? 100 Thieves is getting there. They hit 100 million across YouTube last month, I believe. But that wasn't just League of Legends only. So I really do believe that management and PR people in the space need to give players the okay to being an archetype, right? We went on this whole conversation about being a heel, being a villain. If that's the case, then you just don't get the, hey, this dude's great at League of Legends and he's from this place. Like, you need more than that. I think with a brand new wave of players coming in, we have to find ways to get there. And then finally, those new players have to win. Like, it can't just be Team Liquid winning all the time and TSM winning all the time, C9 winning all the time. We already know the stories of those 15 players, mostly. Maybe a little bit of fudge here for C9 can probably boost things up. But basically, you know the stories of those players. So without new people winning, then it's like, why are you gonna watch? And we're kind of in a phase now where it's like, you gotta prove it that you're gonna win. I'm not gonna watch until like 100 Thieves actually gets close. Even if they get in the finals, 3-1 Team Liquid, right? That's probably how people are gonna feel until someone actually does it. There's only been 4 franchises that have won the LCS ever in Cloud9, CLG, TSM, and Team Liquid. So until someone else other than these 4 orgs wins, it's gonna be tough for people to build content around it. Winning solves everything. Rockdalian Ninja says, Developmental League's success should not be based on viewership. It should focus on teaching the players the macro facets of the game, back timers, power spikes, wave manipulation, and side laning, and catching side waves and jungle camps from certain positions of power. Different games and different matchups can put you in not how many fans are watching, the better question, how many scouts and analysts are watching? That's partially true. The success of the developmental leagues of regions should be to churn out new players. However, it is expensive to run a whole nother league. It is expensive to pay a whole, a whole salary to players here in the States compared to other regions where it is cheaper, like cost of living is cheaper. And so without viewership to help support it with advertisements, with a following, you can't have a successful developmental league. You just have the amateur system. So kind of what we built now, I think works well. The academy system right now is more like, hey, we have these contracts and we're interested in possibly keeping them up. Everyone else, best of luck, fend for yourselves. A lot of the teams that played in amateur this season will not exist next year because they don't financially get supported, which is why it's important to get eyes on the product, which is then allowing people to sell around the product so that all orgs can get paid for just existing and providing an opportunity to get better to players. Does this make sense? If you don't get viewership, no one's getting paid. No one's getting paid, people aren't gonna stick around for more than maybe a year. Rockdalian Ninja, again, says, so I think C9 can make finals. It's very plausible they beat Mad for 3rd in Rumble stage, and very plausible they can beat a flawed RNG in a BO5, or at least make it a competitive series. You're crazy, brother. I have nothing else to say. This is the end of our show. Thank you for watching. Rockdalian Ninja, that's this guy.